Hello, and welcome to Recovery Arkansas and Beyond, with your host, Jay Cupid, founder of the Other Side Ministry, with this week's guest, Tim Williams, staff member here at the Other Side Ministry in Wilburn, Arkansas.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Recovery Arkansas and Beyond. I'm your host, Jay Cupid, and I have my very special guest with me today is a gentleman that I've known for several years. His name's Tim Williams. He works at the Other Side. And hey, Tim, it's good to have you here, bud.
It's good to be here, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, tell us a little bit about your growing up and where you grew up.
Well, I grew up out in California, born and raised out there. We moved down here in January of '80 and got a chicken farm out here and everything, and it kind of went downhill from there. But growing up, my dad was I guess you say, manipulator in all kinds of ways.
Right.
I got 6 other brothers and 1 little sister, and my dad would actually make promises to us about if you do this for me and I'll pay you this much, and then that's as far as it went, and we'd do it for him and we'd never see nothing for it. And
Right.
just all my life he's been a manipulator and not a real nice guy that I would consider. I mean, I love him to death. He's my dad, you know.
Right.
And I forgive him for everything. I've forgiven him for everything. But he's done a lot in my life to really hurt me.
Right.
But my mom, she was there for me, but wasn't there for me.
Right.
She really had no idea. Growing up, she really had no idea where I was. I
Right.
ate supper at a lot of people's houses. I spent the night at a lot of people's houses,
Right.
and she wouldn't even know I was gone.
Right.
All my brothers were the same way. The whole family was the same way.
You bet.
Very dysfunctional family.
After you grew up and had your family and all, you had some struggles with some substances, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Started smoking weed probably 7th grade. What's that, 13, 14 years old?
Right.
Something like that. And started smoking weed, trying to be cool, you know.
Yeah.
I was a long-haired surfer guy, you know. Had hair down to my waist and took my surfboard just about everywhere I went. And just, you know, rock and roller kind of guy, and just loved rock and roll music, and started drinking. I had a friend of mine that I would cut school in the 9th grade, and he
Right.
lived right across the street from the high school where I went.
Right.
And there was a liquor store right across the street too.
Right.
And he had it arranged to where if I went over there, they were allowed to sell me beer because it'd be for him. Well, I used that to go in at night and say, "Hey, I'm reading 6-pack, you know, or this."
Right.
So I really started drinking kind of early.
Okay.
Well, yeah, early. Anytime you start drinking, it's early. But
Sure.
I just dabbled in weed and drinking for a while, and
Carried over into your adult life.
yeah, carried over into my adult life. I got out here and got introduced to crystal meth,
Yeah.
and started doing crystal meth pretty heavy,
Right.
and just did away with smoking weed. I still drank, you know,
Right.
still drank quite a bit, but the crystal meth I just quit doing because I just didn't like them both together.
Right.
Wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
And I just started using alcohol more and more and more, and then I got off the crystal meth,
Right.
and because that's all I wanted to do was drink.
Right.
And I mean, I would wake up. As soon as I woke up, I'd mix me a screwdriver, Bloody Mary, or
Right.
and a beer.
Right.
you know?
Right.
And I would drink until it was time to go to work.
Right.
I was a functional drunk. I worked for 15 years for a company,
Yep.
and I came in one day out of the 15 years that I worked there. I came in one day sober, and they sent me home for being drunk because I couldn't write. I was shaking so bad.
Right.
You know, I
Yeah.
couldn't read my writing. Thought I was drunk. So
Yeah.
came in the next day and said, "That's the way we like to see you."
Yeah.
So,
They just wanted the work done, didn't
yeah.
they? So tell me a little bit about, because I understand what happened with you. You missed some work or something one day.
Yeah, I got on a drunken stupor, I guess you'd say, and I went 3 or 4 days just sitting there drinking and being lonely and being by myself. And I was in an apartment all by myself,
Right.
had all the alcohol to float a battleship, and I just sat there and drank, and I just got lonely and depressed and everything, and just decided, well, you know what? I've had enough. I'm just going to end it all. So I got me a pad and a paper and sat down and started writing goodbye letters to all my kids.
Right.
And I mean, I literally got down to the last one to my youngest daughter and was telling her, I love you and I'm sorry, but it's something I had to do.
Right.
And I got a knock on the door. Like, oh man. So I get up and I go out there and answer the door. And it's a guy that I worked with, and he's also a pastor up here at one of the churches in Heber Springs.
Right.
I don't know if I'm supposed to mention names or not, but
That's close enough.
yeah. I opened the door and he's
I know him well enough to
You
know
know
he
who-
probably he wouldn't want the credit for
yeah,
it,
because
he
don't want the
he'd
credit.
give
He
it to
knows-
God. Yeah.
He knows. Yeah. I mean, but I answered the door and he just, as soon as I opened it, it was like a glow,
Right.
and I felt something.
Right.
Wasn't sure what it was, but I felt something. You're gonna get me bald here in a minute.
That's okay. Let her rip.
And he just said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Nothing. What are you doing?" He said, "Can I come in?" And I said, "Yeah, come on in."
I remember when you first told this story, you said it in your mind, you were going, no, 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 no. And then he goes, "Can I come in?" Yes.
Yeah, yeah, it kind of was. Yeah, it was kind of, "What are you doing here?" How did you find him? He had no idea where I lived or anything, but
Right.
God put it on him to find out where I lived and find me. He felt something. He told me one time that he felt something that God had told him to come find me.
Yes.
And I don't know if he went to my ex-roommates or found out where I lived or how it happened. That was never discussed between us.
He found out where you live, though.
He found out God put it on him to find out where I lived. And I know it was all God.
Yeah.
And I let him in, and I had my 45 sitting over there on a table, and he just walked straight over to it like he knew where it was, and picked it up, dropped the chamber, emptied the clip, or dropped the clip out and emptied the chamber, and he turned around and he had it by the trigger, and he had it on one finger and said, "I'll bring this back to you when I think you're ready for it."
Yeah.
You put it back in the case, and that was the last time I saw that gun.
Yeah.
He said, "Be ready to go to church with me." This was a Friday. He's like, "Be ready to go to church in the morning." I'm like, tomorrow's Saturday.
Right.
Like, be ready. 9:00, be ready. So I got up and got ready, and we came out to the other side, and
Let
hung
me
out in the
let me
lawn.
ask you a question real quick too, because I don't remember if I've got this messed up, but I remember when you first told me this story. Was that the point when he came in there and talked to you and told you to come to church? Was that the point you felt like you'd sobered up just like instantly?
Oh,
or was
no.
That was the next day.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
He
Got ahead of you.
he come back out the next day with there's 4 guys I think with him from the other side,
Right.
and they came in and sat down with me, and I started still drinking. Went back to drinking as soon as I got home, and I sat there and I couldn't even put a straw full cup. They said, "You want a cup of water?" Well, I shook all the ice out of the water before I got it to my mouth.
Right.
They got me a straw, and I couldn't even put the straw. They had to put straw in the cup for me.
Right.
And they started telling me a little bit about their testimonies and stuff.
Right.
And they're like, he doesn't understand a word we're saying. He can't hear a word we're saying. I said, I hear y'all. I'm listening. I'm listening. I promise you, I'm listening.
Right.
And she's like, well, we're going to my church tomorrow, so be ready to go.
Right.
You know, I'm like, okay. So I'm like, well, I don't have any tail lights or brake lights or anything on my Jeep, so
Right.
I ain't gonna be able to make it. Well, the guys got up, went out there, and 15 minutes later, I've got brake lights, tail lights, 9 yards.
They fixed your
You
car.
you don't have an excuse. I don't know how they done it because they didn't change no fuses or nothing. I don't know what they did, but they
Right.
got it fixed. And they're like, well, before we leave, we're gonna circle up out here in your driveway, and we all circled up, and I'm in the neighborhoods hooting and hollering, and
Right.
there's a little trailer park place, you know, and they're all hooting, go Timmy, go, you know, and everything. I'm like, okay, you know, y'all chill out on me, you know, and we circled up and we prayed, and it was just instantly this big weight comes off my shoulders, and I'm sober as can be.
Wow.
Never been. It'd been a long time since I was sober like that.
Right.
I mean, clear-eyed, walking straight up.
Shakes are gone.
Yep. And I walked right in the house, and I'm like, this has got to be God. It can't be nothing but
Right.
nothing but God.
Right.
And little boy said, pour it out. Show me you love me. Pour it out.
Yeah.
So I poured it out.
Yeah.
And I came back to the other side. I came to the other side 3 times. And, well, the third time I came to the other side, Trent told me that he had guys out there on the sidewalk saying, he's coming in today. He's going to come in today.
Right.
And I came over that speed bump, and it was like, bam, here I am.
Yep.
If you don't want your life, give it to me.
Right.
You know? I'm like, you got it, Dad.
There you go. There you go.
It's all you, Daddy.
Yeah.
And they let me come in, and I just never looked back since. I mean,
right.
I just.
What year was that?
That was February 3rd of 2020,
Wow.
and
Wow.
I've been at the other side ever since.
5 years. Yeah.
I had my ex-wife was coming up here on Saturdays visiting and everything.
Right.
Kept asking me, "What are you going to do when you get done here?" And I'm like, "I don't know. God ain't told me. When God tells me, I'll tell you.
Right.
And I'm not going to do anything until He tells me."
Right.
And it was graduation day. I graduated. We were sitting out on the picnic table, and she said, "Well, what are you going to do?" I said, "I don't know. God ain't told me yet."
Right.
And at that instant, one of the staff members walked up and said, "Oh, by the way, you're on staff." Well, that just didn't do nothing but made her mad.
Yeah.
I said, I looked at her, I said, "You're going to give up weed and you know, you got a alcoholic, crystal meth head son living with you?" I said, "I can't go back to that.
Right.
There's no way I can go back to that."
Right.
And she come up and lifted that little leg up and said, "Oh, by the way, you're on staff." Well, that made her mad, and she took off, and the last time I talked to her was getting divorce papers.
Right. Right. But you've been on staff out here ever since.
Yep.
And
Been 5 years and
yep. Thanks for watching. This is a new channel, so we're going to ask if you get a chance, subscribe to this channel, give us a like, and share it with your friends. And hopefully there'll be something that people will see that will help them. And we hope that it's something that if you're struggling with where your relationship is with Christ, that, you know, maybe you can find Him, and we want you to find Him. So we just ask right now, just give us a subscribe, a like, and share us. And so there's one other story I'd like for you to tell me about real quick. When you were on staff, we got a donation for some stuffed animals during Christmas one year.
yeah.
Tell us about that.
Oh, that's a tearjerker, bud. We had a Ford Escape, and I had that thing was packed full of stuffed animals. And I'm like, well, I'm just gonna go through town, drive around, see if I can find kids without being a weirdo. You know, get with their mom and dad first and foremost. You know,
Right.
at just, you know, see if they'd like to have a stuffed animal. And I drove for I went to every trailer park, just about every road in Heber Springs I went down.
Right.
I'm like, well, I can't find no kids nowhere.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I'll just go back to the other side. Last little trailer park right before you come out of town, little voice in my head said, pull in there.
Right.
So I pull in, and I mean, it's deserted.
Right.
Off towards the wood lines, I see one little kid. And she's like scraping scraps off in the woods or something. I don't know what she was doing. But I pulled up there, and I got out, and the door of the trailer was open. And I heard a man in there. He said, please, God, please. I'm like, oh, boy. At least he's talking to him, you know. Everybody talks to God, but how are we talking to you? But I'm like, hello, you know. And he come out and I said, hey, I'm from the other side, you know, and I got a car full of stuffed animals down here, and I noticed you got a little girl. I just thought, you know, maybe she'd like to come and pick a couple of them out.
Right.
You know, and it was like he got dazed eyes, you know. He's like, wow. It's like, dude, I was just praying, you know, help me out with Christmas, God, you know.
Right. Right.
He didn't have the money to buy his kids nothing for Christmas or nothing, you know.
Yeah.
So he called his little girl up there and said, hey, you want to go get you a stuffed animal in that car? And she's like, yeah. And so I opened the back hatch of the Escape, and there's a gigantic unicorn flew all the way across the back of that thing. It was big. She could ride it.
Right. Right.
And she's like, oh, can I have that unicorn? I said, sweetie, you can have anything in this car you want. Anything,
awesome.
any of these toys you want in here, you can have.
That's awesome.
And she said she had a little sister in the house that I did not know she was in there.
Right.
But she said, well, can I get my sister something? I said, yes, she can come out and get whatever you want out of here. You know,
Right.
you can take them all because I don't want to haul them back home, really.
Right.
but I got back over to the campus here, and there's, I guess just about all the staff was in the office there, and I was telling them about it and everything, and I had everybody in tears. I was in tears. I mean, it was just
It's one of those moments, wasn't it?
God moment.
Yeah.
The Holy Spirit was
Yeah.
just running everywhere.
Yeah.
And one of the guys, we did angel thing where
Angel Tree.
angel tree where they get the guys' kids toys and stuff, you know. Well, one of the
Guys are in the program. We get the churches are buying those guys gifts for their
Yeah.
kids.
well, one of the guys wasn't able to see his kid for Christmas,
Right.
and said, well, here, I got a scooter and some games and stuff and everything. Take that over there to him.
Right.
Well, we had pork butts for sale, so I had a pork butt. So I took this pork butt and everything back over there and talked with him and prayed with him and invited him to come out here and everything. I mean, he never did, but
Right. That's okay.
you know, that's okay. I mean, as long as he knows that it was all God, you know.
Yep.
That's what it's all about.
I'm sure he knows.
Oh,
Surely,
he knew.
surely
He knew
knows, yeah.
because it was like the look on his face was he didn't expect an answer from God that fast.
Answered prayer instantly. Yeah,
You know, you're
that's-
praying about you're still praying about it, and I'm pulling in your driveway, dude. You know? Tell me that ain't our daddy.
Oh, that's so cool.
You know,
That is very cool.
it was. I mean, and I just the kids out here and everything. I just got a special place in my heart for the kids
Yes.
because without the kids, church is dead.
Right.
You know,
That's right.
they're our future, and we've got to get these kids back into it.
That's right.
Even if their mom and daddy's messed up in their rehab or their drug problems or anything else,
Right.
you know, let's don't forget about the kids.
You bet.
Let's get a handle on that.
I agree.
We can fix mom and daddy.
That's
Let's don't mess the kids
Let's
up.
don't mess the kids
in the
up. That's
process of it. You know what I
That's
mean?
right. You bet. Well, man, I'm glad you came in and shared that with us today, and just appreciate all you do for us around here, and
pleasure.
all the outpouring you do for these guys. So, thanks for watching, and we'll be back with another riveting episode of Recovery Arkansas and Beyond. Thanks for watching, and we love you. Hey, and thanks for watching today. I'm glad you joined us. Hope you'll join us again. I hope some of the things that we talk about are going to be interesting to you. But I want to kind of tell you a little quick, kind of a snapshot of us. We're Recovery Arkansas and Beyond, and we're an arm of the Other Side Ministry. We're a faith-based, Christ-centered recovery center to help guys get through addiction, whatever addiction that may be, drugs, alcohol, whatever. And we just wanted to put something together that would kind of highlight some of these other guys and show them what we're doing in Arkansas. We wanted to put this thing together so you could see what we're doing out here, because there's a movement going on in the state right now where a lot of people have come together and put these facilities in similar to ours, and we're out here trying to help these guys get off this methamphetamine, get off of this fentanyl, get off of all these things that cause them so much trouble. And we wanted to put something together so that you could see what's going on and what's happening in your communities. We don't charge anybody to come out here. We felt like that Jesus paid the price. And so it doesn't cost anything for these guys to come out here, because we never wanted anyone to not come and get help because they felt like they couldn't afford it. So what we're going to ask you today, and we're not going to wear you out with this, but what we're going to ask for today is that if it's something you can do and you would like to donate to us, if you look below, you'll see a QR code, and we'll also include our email address. So one way or another, however you want to get in touch with us, that'll make it available for you to do that. And just let us know what you might want to do. There's one thing I definitely want to do on this program is I want to encourage you guys to send us emails to that email address and let us know your prayer requests and what's bothering you and the things that you may need prayer for. It may be a loved one who's struggling with addiction. It may be someone who's having some health issues. And send us those, and we have chapel out here 2 times a day, and we'll be more than glad to pray over those prayer requests. And also, what I want you to do, as much as anything, I want you to send me praise reports. And those praise reports are what's God done for you. Because a lot of times, we're out there praying about, Lord, I hope you'll help me with this. But a lot of times He helps us with it, and we just want to shout it from the mountaintops. So send me those prayer requests and those praise reports, and we'll try to read as many praise reports as we can every week and just kind of let you know what's going on. So again, thanks for watching, and we ask right now that if you subscribe to the channel or you hit that like button for us or share this with your friends. That's what we really would like for you to do, and let's get this out to as many people as we can get it out to. So thanks for watching. We love you, and come back and see us.